No president, not the best intention in the world, not Barack Obama, not Bernie Sanders, not anybody else, can implement the changes we need in this country without a political revolution. The assumption right now on the part of the Republican leadership is most people don't vote, most people don't know what's going on, and many people have given up on the political process. That's great. They love it, because the smaller the voter turnout, the better they do. I want to see our country have one of the highest voter turnouts in the world, not one of the lowest. In November 2014, 80% of young people did not vote. 63% of the American people did not vote. And we need your help by the millions to tell Congress to stop worrying about their fossil fuel contributors to their campaigns and worry about their kids and their grandchildren. That when millions of people come together to fight to rebuild the American middle class and deal with climate change and deal with women's rights, we will win, because we are going to make them an offer they can't refuse. And that is either they do the right thing, or in a short period of time, they're going to be looking for another job. But I would hope that all of you are prepared to think big, not small. Do not get sucked into this worldview and this debate about whether we cut education by 2% or whether we increase it by 1%. You are living in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And when we stand together, when we do not allow demagogues to divide us up as to whether we're white or black or Hispanic, whether we are born in this country or born abroad, whether we are straight or gay, whether we're men or women, when we stand together, we can accomplish extraordinary things. I ask you, as young people, to stand up and be leaders in this country. I ask you to help us create a nation where every person, no matter their race, their religion, their disability, or their sexual orientation, realizes the full promise of equality that is our birthright as Americans. There is nothing that I am telling you today that is pie in the sky, that is utopian. Nothing. We can accomplish all of that and more, but we will not accomplish that if 80% of young people do not vote. We will not accomplish that if 63% of the American people do not vote. Now, the truth is that the billionaire class in corporate America and Wall Street and the corporate media have enormous, enormous power. And I would be fooling you if I suggested otherwise. They are very, very powerful people. And they control this country and have controlled this country for a very, very long time. But at the end of the day, while they have the money and while they have the power, we have something that they do not have. And that is, we have the people. And when people stand together, we can win. A change never takes place from the top down. It always takes place from the bottom on up. It takes place when people, by the millions, sometimes over decades and sometimes over centuries, determine that the status quo, the world that they see in front of them, is not the world that should be. And what human history is about is passing that torch on from generation to generation to generation of young people who pick up the torch that may have begun hundreds or literally thousands of years ago. And young people stand in front of the world today and say, no, this is not the world that I am comfortable with. This is the world we are going to change. There are major, major, major issues that confront us today. And we need your help. We need the idealism and the energy and the intelligence of millions of young people to join us in the fight to make America the kind of country we know it must become. We are living in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Today in the United States, we have more income and wealth inequality than any major country on earth, and it is worse today than at any time since 1928. The top 0.1% own almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Go one family. The Walton family of Walmart owns more wealth than the bottom 40%. The wealthiest 14 people saw an increase in their wealth by $156 billion. The American political system has been totally corrupted, and we need your help to create an economy that works for all of our people. American democracy is not supposed to be about billionaires buying elections. Where one family, second wealthiest family in America, the Koch brothers, are spending $900 million in this election cycle. You are not looking at democracy, you are looking at oligarchy, and we have got to change that. And there is another issue of enormous importance that I hope you will work with many of us on. Shamefully, the United States of America today has more people in jail than any other country on earth. In other words, as a nation, we are turning our backs on the young people of this country. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that, including a broken criminal justice system which needs fundamental reform in a dozen ways. In my view, it makes a hell of a lot more sense for us to be investing in education and jobs rather than jails and incarceration. It is cheaper to send a kid to the University of Chicago than to jail. Let's get our priorities right.